Hey guys, welcome back. And in this video, what we're going to be doing is a bit of a web application. So since I've decided that we'll be doing two things in parallel, I'll be doing SQL and the web application part. So in this video, what we're going to be learning is an animation effect on buttons that you can use. It's famously called as a ripple effect because when you click on the button and the effect that's shown, it's like a ripple. So let's say I click on this register button, you see there's like a ripple going out. Wherever I click, it'll start from there and go outwards. Same for both the buttons. You can use this in your website whenever you have like a sign up page or something. You can use this effect there present in your page that requires a button. You can like make it more interesting for the viewer by including such effects. So without any further ado, let's jump into the video and see how we actually code this and we build it in the website. I have like created a folder called ripple effect, and in there I have a file called index.html, and I've set up the basic structure. So like let's say if you want to get this, what you got to do is you've got to press shift and the and that one, so you get an exclamation and you press tab. That's it, you've got it. And then you can like go and title your page. I've titled it as ripple effect. So now once that is done, we'll go ahead and we'll style the body. Whatever you saw there, the text, the buttons and all of it, I have compressed all of them inside a div so it's easy to access, and I've called that div with a class of wrap. So for that div you can just do with emit abbreviation dot wrap to say it's a div with a class wrap. Now inside this I have two divs. The first div has the class of text, which means that the text they call ripple effect or whatever you want to present in there, I've put it separately. So dot text would give me that, and I'll give the text of ripple effect. And next I want the buttons which are there. You saw two buttons, right? One was register and one was login. So for that I have used another div called button. This should create a div. Inside the div I'll put two A tags. So these are like you click on them, you go to another link, such a thing. So two A tags means A star 2, which means A into 2. So two A tags. Both the tags lead to nowhere, so I've just kept it as hash. So like don't go anywhere else. Now inside the first one you can give whatever text. I'll just give register inside the first one, and inside the second one I'll give a login text. Now next off I'll create that CSS file and the JavaScript file that you need. So you can go here and you can just say style.css and another file called script.js. So to finish off this HTML file, we'll just link both the CSS and the JavaScript file. To link the CSS file, we have to do it within the head tag. So we'll say link CSS, and since it's in the same folder, we do dot slash. We got the style, and this JavaScript always stays in the bottom of the body. That's the bottommost thing in the body tag. So we'll do script dot source, so dot slash and script dot javascript. So that's it, our index HTML file is done. So once you click save, you can see that you have the ripple effect, you have two A tags. Now we'll go ahead and we'll style it using the CSS. So you have that text which is shown with that boxing in the center, and you have the animation and all of it. So now we'll start off with the CSS file. First off, usually when you start off with the CSS file, what many people have as a tag is that you put something so that your whole file or your whole project has that effect. So I'm going to do that using the star command. So this means that the whole full file or whole project of the ripple effect has this. This is the CSS that we want. We don't want any margin, we don't want any padding. Now when you say box sizing border box, it's like the width and the height property, so it stays within that box. That whole project is there. And why I've given this outline none is this is the property for buttons and all of it. When we use the register and login button, we don't want any outlines shown, which is by default there's a slight bit of outline when you use colors and all of it. So I don't want any outline, and you can choose any font family. I just went with the first one which is shown to me. So once you save it, you can see what is there. There's not much of a change. You can only see the change in the font. Next, we'll go ahead and we'll style the whole body like how we want it to be placed and where we want it. For that, we can use just body. So this says to HTML that we wanted the body tag, whatever is inside there. So for that, I'll use a couple of properties. Now what I have done here is I've just placed a bit of it, so you have the position of the elements to be in the center of the page. So once you save it, you can see it's like in the center horizontally. Now if you want it done it vertically, you can go ahead and do it. Comment it in the comment section, like how can you make this to be aligned in the center of your web page. You try out various other things, you Google it, you try it out, and let's say if you find it, put it down in the comment section and I'll announce it in the next HTML web app video, like how you actually can do it. And if there's anyone who has come up with the correct answer, I'll even announce their name. Next off, we'll go ahead and we'll give a style to this whole wrap out here. So how we do that is using the class .wrap. So this just accesses the whole thing. Now I have given some effect for the whole text, so you have it shown out like something is popping out. That kind of effect I've tried to give it here. Usually that kind of effect is done mainly using the box shadow property of CSS, which kind of gives you the effect that you have something like popping out like a box. Once you save it, you can actually see. You can see the size. Okay, it actually looks like there's something having a 3D effect out there. That's the box shadow doing its work there. Next off, let's go and give some styling to this text we have here. Since it's just a text, I just wanted to do some font size and font weight. That's it. I don't want to do much of a variant out here. So to say what we are accessing, we say .wrap, the class, and inside that there's something called as a .text. Access that. Now what I have done here is I said .wrap is a div class out there, and inside that there's another element called .text. You access that in specific and give the text which is given there a font size of 40 pixels and a font weight of 700. So font weight is like the boldness you give to the text. So that's what CSS allows you to do using font weight. Once you save it, you can see the text size has increased. There's more boldness to the text. That's what has been done. Next, we'll go ahead and we'll style the buttons. Now again, same here. We have said .wrap is a class, and inside that there's a class called .button. What style do we want to give it? I've said display flex. Why display flex is used is it is to say that once the size does not match, let's say you change it to a mobile device and your text is like going far away. When you say display flex, it keeps it within the boundary. If it's too much, it like shifts it column wise or row wise, it changes. So you have that, and there's a margin. You can think of margin like a notebook margin. So once you save it, you have it in flex, so it's like towards one side. Now using more CSS, we can go around with the styling. Next off, we'll go and style each of these 8 tags inside the button. So now we have gone ahead and we have created that button kind of effect using CSS. Now each of the thing I'll explain it to you. The position, when you say position to be relative, it's just say, okay, you stick to that part where you are supposed to be, you don't change it. And depending on the size of the screen, you can move it around. So you've given a margin for each of the 8 tags inside, and then given the height and width for, so it looks like a button out there. You've kept the display to be block. so it does not have any position change or any of that. So the line height is like the text area, how much space you want between the top and the bottom. And border radius is because we are trying to create a box kind of structure, another 3D structure above this earlier 3D structure. So text decoration, when you put an A tag, there's always an underline which is given. So we don't want any of that all present there. And currently we've given the color to be white because we're going to be having a background color for each of these buttons. So when you put it white, there's a contrast and you have the text showing to you. Given a font size for each of the text, a font weight, we've kept it to be uppercase always, and the letter spacing between each one of them 1 pixels, and any overflow of text from here to there or any of this effect has to be hidden so you don't have it shown. And the last one, like earlier you had used a box shadows to give it 3D popping kind of effect, you use that same here, so you have a popping effect for each of them. Next we'll go ahead and we'll give the color for each of these, one color for this and another color for this, so you have that difference. So it has to be something other than white, so you have the text shown because the text has been given a color of white. So we'll say button A, and for the first child, meaning that the first text, which is this one out here, we'll give a background color. Now the background color, we're trying to keep it as a linear gradient. So as you like move from, let's say from the left to right in this case, you would have color variant shown. So once you give it, you can see the text is there, the font is there. Since the text is white in color, you have it shown outside, and the background is a bit different, so you have it. I think probably if you like go ahead and increase it a bit more, like let's say 20 pixels, so you have a text bit. So first we did for the first child, and we only have 2, so since there's nothing called the second child or something, we'll go ahead and use the last child, which is the second one. And we'll give another background color for this. Now with the linear gradient of the blue, start off dark from the left and you finish off light in the right side. That's how the 90 degrees works. Next off, we'll go ahead and I'll show you something really important in CSS. It's called a keyframe. Now keyframes are what helps you with doing the animation. So how you go about writing a keyframe is, you say @keyframes and you give a name to this keyframe. So I've kept it as ripple. So now I've created the keyframe, that animation effect. So when you click on it, wherever you click, that's a 0%, right? So that time we don't want any changes, and only the opacity to be changed from 0.5. And as it reaches the 100%, what we want to do is the width to be increased, the height to be increased, and the opacity to be reduced to 0. So by the end, the ripple effect fades off. That's what we want to do. Now we'll use this keyframe. Now where we'll use this is when on each of these buttons that we are doing. So you'll do dot button A and span. So this is like the first one, second one. So each one of them. And now we are done with the button. These are some simple things that you already know. Now the main thing is this animation which we have used here, the animation text. So this is what we are going to say, what we wanted to do when you do that kind of animation, the ripples. So we have given ripple out here, so we'll use that, or we can say ripples, to stick with whatever I'm going to be uploading in GitHub. Yeah, you should check out my GitHub. I have the link in the description. Whatever I teach you in the web application part of it, the projects that we have done so far, I uploaded in my GitHub, and you can go across there, you can see it anytime, you can see the code, how it works. You can even clone it by yourself and you can keep it, so you have it for some future use. Let's say you want to create a whole website, you can make use of these. So now we'll do ripples, 0.6 seconds, the time to be lasting, and we want it to go linear, and we want to keep it infinite. So whenever you click on it, it should be going. So you won't see any effect happening out here. For that, we have to work with the JavaScript file. So let's go ahead and we'll write our JavaScript. Right off, we'll start by taking each of these texts. These are in the A tags. So we'll call each of them as a button. So const button document, where we want it, from query selector all. So we wanted to select everything which has a tag because it's a query, right? Whatever you write in HTML. Next, we want to create a function. We are going to be creating an arrow function. So we say button dot for each. So when you do that button and you have it as a buttons, it takes off as an array because you have two of them, and each of the element can be accessed using button, the singular word. That's how beautiful JavaScript is written actually. So what we want to do is whenever you click on each of these buttons, so button dot on click, we want to call a function, and what it's going to do is it's going to get an event. So we just call it as E, the mouse event that's going to get. So when it gets it, we want to assign the ripple effect there. So how we do that is we say a variable called X and we'll call a variable called Y, and wherever the client clicks in, so we say client X minus E dot target dot offset left. So what we have said is X to be wherever you click and to be that end of that page, and similarly out here it will be client Y minus E dot target dot offset top, because it's a Y axis, so top bottom, X axis left right. And we create another variable called let ripple, and what does it say? It's going to take each of these buttons. So for that what we're going to say is document dot create element, and we'll create an element called span. This is the span that I mentioned here in the CSS dot button A to span whatever is inside that A. Now for that ripple dot style dot left, the left of it we want it to be X pixels, and the ripple dot style dot top, so whatever you have there it will keep on increasing this and it will change every time you click on it, so it moves until it reaches the end of it. And we wanted this to be this dot append child, so whatever we did out here we want it to be appended to this ripple element, and we set a timeout function, so it should run for only these many seconds. That's what I have also done here in the animation with these 0.6 seconds. Now when you do set timeout, you have to use milliseconds, and 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. So 0.6 seconds would be 600 milliseconds. So set timeout of the above function, and what we want to do is we'll say ripple dot remove. So you gotta remove this effect which we did out here, this whole effect, after it reaches the point which is 600 milliseconds. Once that is reached, you remove it off. That's what this whole thing is. And since this is an arrow function, you gotta end it with a semicolon. So that's it, we are done. Let's say you go and click this, you got the ripple effect. Wherever you click, it ripples off from there to the end. That's what this whole thing is actually. Using this, you set it to the ripple style and it adds it to the ripple, and it continues till 0.6 seconds. Now, once that is reached, it removes it off that ripple. The whole ripple effect is removed. So that's it, we are done. Now you can use this in various places. So such effect actually makes the user okay. This is pretty cool. Like to click on it. You can just keep on clicking, so it's like pleasing to the eyes. So that's it from this video. I hope you have understood what I taught, and if you haven't, do comment in the comment section. I'll help you out, and you can also get the code from the GitHub link in the description. Go ahead and check it out, because I'll be posting a lot of my code in the GitHub, so you can access it anytime. I've kept it open source for everyone to learn from me, and I should also learn from, since I've been learning from people who shared it and kept it open source. Even I want to do the same and keep it open source. So thanks a lot for watching this video. If you have liked this, click the like button and subscribe to this channel for more such content on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and even SQL. That's the series we are doing. Do check it out. I have the link in the description for the playlist. So that's it from me today. Thank you.